All right, everybody, here we go with Opendoor Technology. And last video I made, I said that we're probably going to come down some Opendoor Technology because we're up a lot and the rate cut is priced in. And Lennar's earnings showed that the housing market was still kind of sluggish. So that's what happened. We're starting to come down. So I want to show you the chart, but let me just tell you this. I'm going to start doing some other stocks as well so we can keep making money even while Opendoor is going down, but I will keep an eye on Opendoor at all times. So subscribe to the channel, like the video, and you'll be the first person to know when Opendoor is probably about to go back up again. So make sure you subscribe. You'll be the first person to know when Opendoor goes up or any stock that I'm mentioning goes up. Now let's look at Opendoor chart real quick. All right, so here we go for the weekly chart. And as I said before, we're up a lot. Started from 50 cents, then we consolidated here, then we went up again, we consolidated some right here. Now this is the issue right here. These two long green candlesticks, we went up too much right there. We went up too much without some hard, evidence that we're back in business. Housing market is going up. So these two candlesticks are probably going to have to retrace some of this gain right here. We went up too much. This is fine. This is fine. But these two candlesticks, we went up a lot. We went from $4 all the way to almost $11 in 2 weeks. So that's what we're looking for right now. I'm probably going to retrace these two candlesticks, but by how much, that's the question. I'm going to try to answer it for you. I'm going to show you some more supports and resistance. I'm going to update it. Since we're now in the downtrend, we're going to have to make some new supports and new resistance to look out for. So here's a resistance that I had before, and it pretty much hit the target, But now I'm going to erase some of these resistance because we're going down a little bit. We don't need these at the moment, so let me get rid of these resistance and supports and let's make some new ones so we can have some kind of guidance on where Opendoor price is going to go. All right, because we broke all the supports. We broke every single support there is for Opendoor, right? So we need to make some new ones. So we broke that 875 support today, and that was a last support to show a bullish trend for Opendoor. So we're not really in a bullish trend anymore because we broke the 875. If we can go back over the 875 and hold it, we're back into a bullish trend again. But based on what we're seeing so far, a lot of people are selling off because the housing market isn't back yet, and Lennar earnings proved it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that $8.75 support, and we're going to make that support the new resistance for Opendoor. So the question is, where is the support? How far will we go down? So here's one support right here, about 740, and then we have another one here around the 770 area. That's where we have it at support. Then we have one more. Let's just draw it at the $8 mark because it's around 790 something. So let's just draw $8 to make it even. So our next support looks like it's going to be at $8, then 770. And then about 739, 740, that's where our support is going to be at. We want to hold the $7 the best we can. We have a lot of support in the $7 area. So this is going to be our support right here. All these lines that I drew. The last support at 630 is $7, 739, 771, $8, and then we're at 875 resistance. And we draw one more resistance right here for you. 945 is going to be another resistance. So there we are. Right now we're in the middle of 875 and $8. So there we are for support resistance. So let's look at today's action on what was really going on. So pretty much pre-market, we're pretty much just going down, down, down. And here comes the manipulation right here. There's a lot of manipulation now in Opendoor, and they're showing that Opendoor is going to go up so retail can buy, and then they're going to sell their shares on you. That's what they're doing now. So they're manipulating in that way. So when it went up from 870 to 945, that was pretty much pure manipulation right there. They get retail excited to buy shares, and then they just sold right on top of the retail. So it went from 870 to 945, and as soon as we hit 945, they just started selling, right? Then it went to $9 to 929, then it sold some more. And they just kept selling some more, right here, selling some more. Then once again, manipulation, 880 to 913, and then more retail was buying, and then they sold a lot because at the end of the day, so they sold a lot. People are shorting their stock, so that's what they're doing, manipulating retail. to try to fool you thinking Opendoor is going to go up. But right now, there's no reason for Opendoor to, pump right now or go up, because the reason why we need news for Opendoor, we need more evidence in the housing market that, it's about to get back on its feet. We don't have that right now. We need more data showing that people are starting to buy houses again. That's what we need. The interest rate is good, we had a rate cut, and then the mortgage rate is going down. But the thing is, people still aren't buying houses yet. So the rate cut is going down, but people aren't buying yet. There will be a time, we don't know when, but there will be a time when people start buying houses again. And that's when Opendoor will flourish, right? Now let's take a look at the housing market ETF real quick. Let's look at the daily chart. And as you can see, it's doing the same thing as Opendoor. So don't let people fool you saying, oh, Opendoor is a bad company, bad stock, because it's not the only one going down. The housing market stocks are going down. So remember what I said before. If Opendoor is going down with the housing market, it's because of the housing market, not Opendoor the company. So we got ITB going down. Let's check out DR Horton going down as well today. Lennar, same thing, went down. And Opendoor went down. And Opendoor went down more than the other companies, because Opendoor is up a lot. So it has more room to go down because it's up a lot in a short period of time. That's why Opendoor went down so much. You have to remember, a few days back, I think last week, we had an 80% day. What was that? September 11th, we went up 80%. And here's that 80% day right here. So now we're a little bit below half that 80%. And here's the weekly again. So as you can see, we're up a lot from here all the way up to here, right? And the crazy thing about it, even if Opendoor came down to the $5 area, $6 area, we would still be in good shape. That's the crazy thing about it. That's how far we have come. That's how much we pumped in so little time. Because the uptrend on a weekly shows an uptrend all the way to $5.91. Anything above $5.91 or $6, we're still technically in a nice uptrend. That's the crazy thing about it. But, we don't want to go down that far, But if you look at the stock, zoom out on a weekly, this is still a healthy chart, even if we came down some. So the question is, will Opendoor keep coming down? If I had to give a percentage about if Opendoor will keep coming down or not, 75% chance that it's going to come down a little bit more. That's just the way it is, right? Just the way it is. We went up so much, and, got to give back some. That's the issue. We need news. We need data. Everything is right where it needs to be at for Opendoor and the housing stocks. But we just need evidence of people starting to buy houses again. That's it. That's it. All we need is evidence of people starting to buy houses again. And once we get that evidence, Opendoor, in my opinion, will start going up again. In my opinion. And this time, I think the next leg up is going to be even stronger, because catch people who are shorting off guard, and it's going to squeeze. So the next leg up, I think it's going to be huge. Where could it go? The next leg up? First we have to break that resistance right here. That $10 is going to be some resistance. And then $11 is going to be some resistance. After that, we start thinking about $15 again. And it's going to be hard to stop Opendoor in housing stocks once we have evidence that people are starting to buy houses again. It's going to be hard, because once people start buying houses again, it's just going to keep rolling. People aren't going to stop buying houses. Once the trend of people starting to buy houses again, it's just going to keep going on. And that's where we're going to see stocks like Lennar make a recovery. You see it going down here, Lennar. Once we get data that people are starting to buy houses again, this downfall right here is going to stop, probably consolidate a little bit, and then it's going to break that 144, break that 150. DR Horton, same thing, break that 185. ITB, break that 117. Open, break that $11. That's what I think. So I'm not going to look at news too much, because, there's a lot of negative news going on right now since the stock is falling. Part of that is because people are shorting the stock. So more negative news, the more it falls, the more money people make shorting it. We just need to wait for more housing data to see, what's going to happen. I'll check when the new housing data comes out, and I'll get back to you on that, and I'll let you know. But you got to subscribe to the channel so I can keep you updated with Opendoor. And I will start making more videos on other stocks as well. There's a lot of stocks doing good right now. Nvidia, Apple, it's a lot more. We've been banking a lot of money in the Discord on different stocks as well, not just Opendoor. So join the Discord, subscribe to the channel, and I'm gonna start making videos so we can make money elsewhere while Opendoor starts to cool down a little bit. Thanks everybody. Subscribe, like, comment, and see you next time. Take care.